So, the newest exotic auto rifle dropped the other day in Destiny 2, and today I'm going to review the gun itself and tell you what I think of it. And spoiler alert, yeah, you might want to get this one. We got a couple details to go through, but yeah, it's good, like quite good. I'll go ahead and give my official ranking at the end of the video, but first, here's a few timestamps. We'll go ahead and talk about how the gun works in general, and then I'll talk about the gun in PvP, which will be a short and brutal conversation, and then I'll talk about the gun in PvE. That'll be the part you probably want to stick around for. Okay, first up, gun info and how the gun works. Choir of One is a void auto rifle, but it's the first auto rifle in the game to use 100% special ammo, just as Ariana's Vow broke the mold by being the first hand cannon to feed off special, so now do we have Choir of One. Let me go ahead and just read the exotic trait and unique weapon perk to you verbatim before giving you an extremely easy translation. Command Fire fires extended range heavy cal projectiles at a reduced rate of fire. Deals increased precision damage when aiming down sight. Fanatical Lance. Hip firing launches multiple projectiles at once in a slower moving spread pattern. Projectiles detonate on impact. I know there's a part up there about radiolarian fluid. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, translation. When you ADS the weapon and fire normally, you get regular standard auto rifle fire one shot at a time, and the bullets are all hit scan. If you're not brushed up on your FPS lingo, that just means that the bullets don't have any travel time. Fire the gun in ADS mode, and if your reticle is over a target, boom, that target will get shot instantly. When you hip fire the weapon, you shoot out 5 shots all at once as projectiles, aka the shots have travel time before reaching the target. As Fanatical Lance tells us, those projectiles detonate on impact, dealing very respectable damage for a special weapon. By the way, huge tip on that hip fire mode. Even though the projectiles detonate, there is no splash damage that will harm you, the user. So truly, don't be afraid of hurting yourself at close range with hipfire mode, because you won't. In case you were wondering, by the way, I measure the rate of fire on both 5 shots of full-on ADS mode versus 5 shots in hipfire mode. I'd heard rumors on Reddit that the weapon fired faster in hipfire mode. That isn't true. 5 shots come out of the gun the exact same speed, right down to the frame. Before moving on, why don't we talk about that first part of the Fanatical Lance weapon trait. Rapid final blows cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. Now, you might just think that is probably a carbon copy of the Radiolaria Transposer origin trait found on many a Vex-themed weapon in episode Echoes. I'm here to tell you it's not. Apparently, it's 6 times stronger than the Radiolaria Transposer origin trait, and that is damn strong. And when they say explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid, they really mean it. Kind of like a junior Firefly out here when the part of that perk kicks in. Good lord. Okay, now why don't we have an extremely brief conversation about Choir of One in PvP. I'm 100% open to being wrong about this, and hey, maybe later I'll look back on today's video and be like, man, was I wrong? But for right now, my official feelings on Choir of One in PvP are: this gun fucking sucks my ass, like my entire ass, and I mean aggressively sucks. But you know what? That is completely okay. I think most exotics in D2 are designed from the ground up to either perform well in PvP or to perform well in PvE, except the Colony, which was designed to not do well anywhere. Choir of One, I'm pretty sure, was not designed to be a PvP gun. It takes 4 headshots to kill, and ain't nobody got time for that. I would much rather just clean some jabroni's clock with a shotgun instantly, melt someone with a fusion rifle, pop a guy's head off with a sniper. You get the idea. If you want to try and make Choir work in PvP, by all means, go right ahead. I feel like every time I say an exotic was not made to do well in PvP, there's always some guy down in the comment section who says, oh, but Fallout, what about insert streamer I've never heard of in my life here? What about Joey Schmoey Shashadu on Twitch? He has 10,000 kills in PvP on the exotic that you said was bad. And yeah, specialist lunatics do exist. There's a guy like that for every exotic in the game. There always will be. I'm rambling a little bit here. Point of the story though, can you make it work in PvP? I'm sure you could. Should you? I probably will not. I'm just saying, if you're asking me to use a special in PvP that doesn't kill in one shot, I'm using Forerunner. In my opinion, that gun puts Choir of One to shame in PvP, but again, by design. Just shoot vaguely near the essence of the other guy's head and boom, free headshot, kills in 3 hits, GG no re. And yeah, I mean, I guess you can use hipfire mode in PvP to try and get kills, but remember, takes up a lot of ammo, and very slow-moving projectile. At the end of the day, you do you. All right, now, why don't we give credit where credit is due and talk about the Choir of One in PvE, where I'm pretty sure it was meant to be used. I was hoping from the get-go that because Choir of One runs on special ammo, that it would take a page out of the Rocket Sidearm playbook, aka have a generous ammo economy. And thankfully, it really do. Rally up and you're looking at 25 in the mag and 225 in reserves, goddamn. By just ADSing your weapon and plinking away at trash, you can basically use Choir of One as a primary weapon, the same way most of us do with Indebted Kindness, The Call, Buried Bloodline, and Aberrant Action. Depending on how far away they are from you, orange and yellow bars can also get plink-plinked by traditional ADS fire. I know that the second wolf inside of you yearns to hip fire this bad boy non-stop. Trust me, I get it. You're gonna have to fight the urge. Learn that there is a time and a place. If you hip fire nonstop, you're gonna burn through all your ammo. Rule of thumb, ADS plink plink on the trash and at mid to long range in general. However, if you come face to face with an orange bar, a champion, or a mini boss at close range, Choir of One is gonna eat that poor boy alive in hip fire mode. Yeah, you're gonna burn through the entire mag immediately, but that's kind of the point. Nail that sucker as hard as you can and bleed the mag dry. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, isn't that just kind of like a worse Fourth Horseman? Well, yeah, kinda. And according to our good friend Mossy Max, please follow him by the way, who has already run the numbers, Choir of One is around 90% of Fourth Horseman's single mag damage. But the advantage it has over the Fourth Horseman, no range fall off, way more reserves, and the option to hit at range in ADS mode with better ammo economy. In short, yeah, it's a slightly weaker Fourth Horseman, but it has the versatility of being able to also be used as a trash clearing mid to long range weapon with really good ammo usage. That is the power and uniqueness of Choir of One. And even though my primary usage of the Choir is likely to just smack champions and mini bosses into next week, I feel like it's definitely going to be viable in straight up raid or dungeon boss DPS. Hear me out, not as the main course weapon for DPS, but including Choir of One into your DPS with your heavy weapon. For example, if you have a hard-hitting DPS weapon with bait and switch, like Edge Transit for example, you already need to land damage with your other two weapons before whipping out Edge Transit to proc bait and switch. As long as you're gonna hit the enemy with your energy weapon to proc bait and switch, why not make it Choir and empty the entire mag in literally 1 second to just pile on a bunch of good extra damage in addition to then hitting the boss with your Edge Transit. Do you see what I'm saying? Regular viewers on my YouTube channel and my stream, yes, I stream every week, know that I'm a big fan of the Buried Bloodline. I didn't think Choir of One was gonna rock the boat for me, but it definitely is already. In fact, I'm probably even more inclined to use Choir of One over the Bloodline because I'm a Warlock main, meaning that if I turn on Prismatic, I have easy access to Devour already, which is one of the main appeals of the Bloodline. So now I can just use Choir. Just as good ammo economy management, the ability to use it like a primary to clear ads at long range, and then the option to smack the freaking bejesus out of some poor yellow bar who gets in my way. Now look, am I saying it's gonna straight up dethrone Still Hunt in PvE? No, of course not. That gun is a freak and a goddamn meta-defining menace. But nevertheless, Choir of One is still incredibly viable in PvE, and it's gonna be front of mind in any activity from here on out that features a Void Surge. But wait, there's more. Lest we forget, we just got more artifact perks with the launch of Act 3, and surprise, surprise, 3 out of 5 are auto rifle focused. One gives you free incoming DR for damaging enemies with auto rifles, and another both auto reloads a portion of your auto rifle and gives you a free damage buff of up to 20% for using your auto rifle no differently than you normally would. And for what it's worth, we're only currently using the base form of the exotic weapon. Because it's a crafted exotic, that means that as we continue to improve and upgrade the exotic, we'll be able to eventually pick between either subsistence, destabilizing rounds, or onslaught. Let me know if you'd like a follow-up video on which of those to pick when the weapon is finally finished. Right now, I'm kinda leaning towards onslaught, but we'll see. At the end of the day, Choir of One is a rock solid and versatile PvE exotic that I hard recommend players go out of their way to get if they haven't already. And for all those reasons, I give it a damn fine PvE workhorse that will see plenty of usage from me out of 10. Check my guide from yesterday if you don't have the weapon yet and want the full guide and mission walkthrough that shows you how to get it. Let me know your thoughts on the gun down in the comment section, and thank you very much for watching. Peace.